Azerbaijani diplomat says bilateral ties between Ethiopia and Azerbaijan growing rapidly in many fields. Ethiopian coffee exports fetch $1 billion in revenue within 10 months. Hello and welcome to EBC World. I'm Askar Matnaf with the hour's latest. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that 79-member Saudi investment and trade delegation headed by President of the Federation of Saudi Arabia Chambers of Commerce is scheduled to visit Ethiopia. While the visit is intended to foster economic relations between the two nations, the delegation is scheduled to land in Addis Ababa tonight, says Nabiyu Tadla Ministry's spokesperson. Members will tour strategically significant manufacturing hubs over their three-day visit, Tadla further disclosed. Relevant Ethiopian stakeholder agencies would convene at the Ethio-Saudi Arabia Business Consultation Session to deliberate on the favorable trade investment opportunities throughout the country. He went on to say that the firm is interested in taking advantage of opportunities in major economic industries such as transportation and logistics, mining, tourism, power generation, and agriculture. South Sudanese diplomats in Addis Ababa are in the midst of a training focused on regional peace and cooperation. Hosted by the Ethiopian Institute of Foreign Affairs, the training aims to ramp up the role of diplomats in regional peace cooperation and bilateral relations of the two brotherly nations, says Jafar Badru, Director General of the Institute. The diplomats have been briefed on how crucial their role is in fostering peace and bolstering bilateral ties while uniting around shared causes. Badru went on to say that since warfare, money laundering, and illicit human trafficking are frequent bottlenecks facing the region, forums like this will go a long way to foster the sisterly ties between the two nations. He said Ethiopia has been an all-weather ally of the South Sudanese people and government, adding the training was held in a cordial and friendly atmosphere reflecting the long-standing fraternal relations between the two countries based on good neighborhood relations and mutual understanding. Saying that the training strengthens cooperation and to combat any illegal activities, Badru further underscored that it helps ensure the security of people along the border area and reinforce people-to-people relations. The Ethiopian Coffee and Tea Authority revealed that a whopping 2,100 tons of coffee was exported to foreign market within the last 10 months, generating $1 billion in revenue. Director General of the authority, Adunya Debela, stated that Ethiopia's export coffee production has been steadily increasing each year. Testament to this, in the current Ethiopian fiscal year, 210,000 tons of coffee was exported, resulting in $1 billion in revenue. The figure represents a significant increase compared to the same period last year, as is stated by the Director General. Ethiopia exports coffee to approximately 50 to 60 countries, with the US, Japan, Belgium, Germany, and Saudi Arabia being the top importers of Ethiopia's coffee. Efforts are underway to expand the destination countries for Ethiopian coffee, and modern producers have been implemented to combat illicit activities and enhance foreign trade performance, according to the Director General.
going to share with you some things that you can do and some places that you can go to here in Debrecen. Debrecen is actually 30 minutes away from Addis Ababa. I've been here and I'm loving it. Behind us is actually one of the first things you can do. I'm staying at Babogaya Resort. So very close to Babogaya Resort is the railway that connects Ethiopia and Djibouti. So let's go have a look. About 7 or so. Here I'm at the lake, so I'll just give you like a closer look at the lake.
Upon his arrival in Seoul, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed was warmly received by President Yoon Suk-yeol at South Korean President office this week. During the occasion, the two leaders held bilateral discussions and signed a $1 billion US financing framework agreement for projects to be implemented over the next 4 years. During his stay, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, accompanied by a ministerial delegation, participated in the Korea-Africa Summit. Take a look. Azerbaijani ambassador to Ethiopia says the bilateral relationship between Ethiopia and Azerbaijan is growing rapidly in many fields. Talking to BBC World Addis Dialogue, Ambassador Ruslan Nasimbov underscores the cooperation between Ethiopia and Azerbaijan has entered into a new page in the history of the bilateral ties between the two nations. Shegaw Yamata compiles the following.
Ethiopia and Azerbaijan have enjoyed cordial relationship in economy, trade, education, medicine, energy, among others since 1992. Due to the dynamic expansion of this diplomatic tie between the two nations, Azerbaijan opened its embassy in Addis Ababa in 2014 to boost its diplomatic mission. Talking to ABC World at this dialogue, Azerbaijani ambassador to Ethiopia, Ruslan Nasibu, indicated that the bilateral relationship between Ethiopia and Azerbaijan is growing rapidly in many fields.
Considering this period, we already, we may say that we are going dynamically and rapidly through the development of our bilateral relations. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic affected, as everywhere in the world, it's affected the path of development of this rapidness, but now we are already in a very fast pace of development of our bilateral relations in many fields.
Last month, Ethiopian Deputy Prime Minister Tamasgen Truna made a bilateral visit to Azerbaijan to beef up the two nations' ties on issues of mutual interest. Reacting to Deputy Prime Minister's visit to his country, the ambassador indicated that the signing of the MOU on social innovation, public service delivery cooperation, among others, between the two nations opened a new page in the history of bilateral ties.
The most important outcome which we have seen of the visit of His Excellency Deputy Prime Minister to Azerbaijan is the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between our state agency on social innovations and public service under the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Civil Service Commission of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia concerning the public service delivery mechanism. We have opened a new page in the history of our bilateral relations. We moved to institutional cooperation, which is long-term, which will bring our countries closer. And we are glad and happy to collaborate with Ethiopia in this very crucial field for both countries.
Azerbaijan is making preparations to host COP29 in November this year to build a bridge between all parties on crucial matters on climate finance to enhance ambitious and livable consensus among all parties. The ambassador further pointed out that Azerbaijan is ready to advocate African causes to fight climate change.
We are going to make sure that nobody is left behind and everyone's voice is heard. So that's why we are going to listen to all the parties, and we are listening to all the parties interested and concerned in the climate change around the globe. It's not a future risk. The climate change is not a future risk. It's a present danger which needs to be addressed right now, while not in the future, and from now on. It's been already addressed, and now we're continuing it, and it's very honor and responsibility for us as well.
The longest-standing relationships between Ethiopia and Sierra Leone are growing stronger by the time, with the two nations exploring more and more avenues to elevate it to a new level. Talking to the Ethiopian news agency, Sierra Leone ambassador to Ethiopia said Sierra Leone need to take lessons from Ethiopia in various fields. Habtam Mashagri takes it from here.
Speaking to Ethiopian news agency, Sierra Leone ambassador to Ethiopia, Harold Bondu Saf, said the bilateral relationship between Ethiopia and Sierra Leone is growing.
The sort of the prospect that Ethiopia has, through this interaction, will be able, a lot of other African nations will be able to benefit from it. And we are glad that the African Union is seated here in Addis.
The ambassador also commended the ongoing infrastructure development activities in Addis Ababa. The encouraging development efforts in Ethiopia will inspire a lot of other African nations in order to be able to benefit from it, he said.
This city was named and is today the capital of Africa. I don't even hesitate in saying that, because the people are hospitable. You go around the city, you find a lot of smiling people welcoming you.
Moreover, the ambassador added that Ethiopian Airlines flight to Freetown will open up new horizons to enhance tourism cooperation between the two countries.
Well, before I wrap up the hour's stories, let's now take a look once again at the headlines. Azerbaijani diplomat says bilateral ties between Ethiopia and Azerbaijan are growing rapidly in many fields. Ethiopian coffee exports fetch $1 billion in revenue within 10 months. Well, that's it for the hour. Many thanks for watching. There will be more programs on the station. You could stay on it. As good as the newscast. It's bye-bye from me.